Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flesh of Blood stream. Today we're going to be continuing our pursuit of Dashio and kind of taking Mara Ferris's list, and I've tweaked it a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. We've not made many changes, but I'm excited about the changes we made. We ended up playing against like 4 or 5 Kanos last night on a stream. And one of the cards that we talked about throughout the stream was Dissolving Shield and how it's very good in a Kano. It has some potential play into ninjas. And it can just be all the way around. So I've added 2 of those into the deck. We cut the powder keg, I think is what it's called. And I also ended up I cut the powder keg and I cut another one of in the sideboard that I wasn't a huge fan of. I can't remember what I cut, but you guys can find the list. It's in the description if you're on YouTube. You can also hit !deck. Or if you're in the Discord and you don't feel like using the links, it's in the Discord. I posted the list that I've tweaked and I've added it to it. So I'm excited to play more Dashio today and kind of see how the deck feels, see if the changes work, kind of tweak it and work on it, and just kind of play through the deck as we're streaming today and hanging out. Also, after we play some cards today, we're gonna have Fortnite later on tonight. Carly, the new reload mode is what it's called in Fortnite, has come out. It came out yesterday, and we played it for the first time, and it was pretty fun. So I think Carly and I are gonna play that with some of our friends after we play cards for a bit. She's taking a nap right now, so Carly's a big Sunday afternoon napper. Also, it's 100 degrees in my house, and my glasses are fogging up every time I put them on. So until it cools down, I'm not wearing my glasses. So just kind of letting everybody know what's going on. Somebody said something about jam. I don't know, Ben. Did they? Chips, I'm sorry to hear that your armory didn't fire, man, but I'm glad you get to hang out with us. I hate your armory didn't fire. I know that can be disappointing for sure. Trent, what's going on, dude? How are you? Brim, what's up, dude? I'm very happy to be streaming on Sunday. Glad I'm in town, able to stream on Sunday. I don't get to... Feels like, with events and some stuff recently, I haven't been able to stream too much, so I'm very glad to be back and be able to stream. I think we're going to get like 5 days worth of streaming in this week, which is really exciting. I'm pretty excited about being able to get that in. Hey, Fabton, what's up, dude? How are you, buddy? You doing all right, man? Yeah, stay hydrated? Right, exactly. The AC is not broken, but... I don't know. It just gets really hot during the middle of the day. Like we have it set to 71 right now. Like it cools to 71, and my glasses fog up. It gets so hot in the house. So I don't know. I don't think the AC is broken. I mean, it seems to work just fine, but I don't know. Either way, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, man. Let's go ahead and hop in and play some games. Let's see. Let's pull up the deck here. I left all of the equipment the same. I think the equipment felt pretty clean last night. Stonewall Gauntlet was better than I thought it was going to be. It felt pretty good last night. All right, so this is a Balance of Justice matchup. We're going to go first. I think we always want to go first as Dio just to try and set up and put some things into play. So we're going to run Balance, Heart. I think this is a Gauntlets matchup, and I think we want to run the Adaptive Plating at the leg slot. Signal Jammers, not super relevant. I don't think we want Scramble Pulses. Teklo Pounders, I was told, are not for racing, so we don't want this here. Overload Scripts for things that want to block, and I don't think we want Dissolving Shield here. So I think we'll just run the pure 60 here and just try to go ham here. I think is going to be the plan. We are going to equip this in the leg slot. Yes, we absolutely are. I could push and try to force some cards out of their hand, but I'd also like to be able to play an item off the top of the deck if I can. Maybe we should just boost the Fender Bender here. Arsenal to 0 to 60 and just kind of see if we hit an item off the top of the deck. I was like, that would be beneficial for us, but if we don't, we get to play the Boom Grenade, not Crank, and then Arsenal 0 to 60 and pass here. Last time you complained about it being hot on a stream, it was because you shut down the vent over your computer. I will check here in just a minute, but I'm pretty sure I have opened that permanently. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, giving them an agility with a runner on top is pretty bad for us. That is not where we wanted to be. I can tell you that right now. That's tough. I guess that was one of the downfalls of attacking right there. Man, not finding a blue, that feels very unfortunate for us, to be honest. All right, so what does our hand look like? I mean, we can go 0 to 60 boosting, and then we can pitch the heist to activate Heart, and then we can go Dive Through Data, Outpace, and Soup Up. So we have a pretty decent hand, but the question is, are we going to get more value blocking? Like, are we better off to go 0 to 60 for 4 into soup up, arsenal the dive through data, and just go ahead and like we can block 6 here? Feels like it's the best plan. The only way we truly get punished is if they have a Command and Conquer here, but this feels like a better plan. Ashley and I took a trip to Central Florida this weekend and went to Caleb's armory, and I got thrashed. So I saw Caleb talk about how you were at his armory. I thought that was pretty cool that you guys got to hang out and talk like that, man. What did you end up playing? Were you playing the club Reinar list that you were talking about the other day? Okay, so 0 to 60 for 4. We're gonna play the soup up. I know that it won't technically have go again. Well, I guess we're gonna play whatever we have access to. I'm very surprised that they're giving me Scowling Fleshbag this early. It feels pretty bad that they took our 0 for 4. I would have much rather them have taken the dive through data. Now, beggars can't be choosers, obviously, but this feels like we might just get run over pretty quickly here. I can't play this. The only thing I can do is activate Heart and hope to find something. I guess we just want to find something off the top, right? And we don't find anything, so we're just gonna have to pass. That is a big sag, but it is what it is. I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, and it was bad. I mean, hey, it be like that sometimes. It do be like that sometimes. So we've seen one item so far, and then we just drew a penetration script, and we've seen one blue that we boosted, and that's it. Like that, man, 20 blues, that feels pretty slim. And by pretty slim, I mean, that feels pretty bad. Like, I would say extremely bad, to be honest. So I think we're going to block plating and balance of justice here. And try to do that. I'm thinking about swapping heroes, either moving to Victor, Levi, or KO. Any suggestions? I mean, I think that all of the heroes you just mentioned are pretty good in the metagame right now. I don't think you have a bad pick from taking any of those, to be honest. So I would say I feel pretty comfortable swapping to either one of those if you wanted to like learn how to like grind those heroes out for sure. Levi is a tough hero. And I mean, I think Victor's a lot of fun, but I also have like a very like, you know, permanent. I have a very like strong feeling about that, obviously. Let's block with the Stonewall Gauntlet here. Maybe we get lucky and our opponent just doesn't break the combat chain. I don't think that we're going to get a better opportunity than this to use Stonewall Gauntlet. Although really nothing they do is like indicative of needing the combat chain, so they can't just break it if they want to. I see you at Nat's opening alpha packs. Yo, Corvomix, what's up, dude? Thank you for the 3 months of Prime, brother. I really appreciate it. Yeah, man, we opened a couple of alpha packs at Nationals. And it was cool. Like, it was a lot of fun to open those packs, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. Let's just go ahead and block for 3. We'll take 5. We could crack the headpiece here if we wanted to. We could also wait. I don't know. I think Victor would be fun. I've been on Brute so long, it might be nice to pivot. I have all the cards for the heroes. I mean, yeah, considering that you have all the the cards, like that's what I would like consider like a huge W. To be honest, like that's probably like one of the bigger ones, I would say. So what does our hand look like if... So if I crack balance here, I draw blue. We go penetration script, crank, which is bad. Like, I don't really like doing that, so that feels pretty rough. We'll tell our opponent we're thinking here. We draw blue, play penetration script, crank, and then we get to go outpace, zipper hit, soup up, and that's it. We don't have anything else we can do there. We could always use Heart to gain a resource to play something off the top of the deck if it lines up that way. So let's crack this for 5. Maybe I can use the penetration script to get something else back. I mean, penetration script is going to essentially be a 1 for 4 right here, which is, I mean, it's not bad, right? I'm really hoping they don't have a 2-coster in their arsenal they can throw at us. And they just have a wild ride. I mean, they've had, what's their turn been for? They threw this for 8. This was for 8, 16, 24, and 5. So it's been a 29-point turn. It's been pretty tough, I would say. So if I block with both of these, we take 2. I think we have a decent line here that I can take. I think we're gonna try and piece this together. Now we've given up pretty much all of our equipment and we're down 23 points, so we're definitely going to lose this game, but I don't know really where else we're at right now. So let's crank this to gain an action point. I'm going to throw Soup up for 4. And then we're going to see how they block or what they decide to do. We can't play the Boom Grenade off the top, which is unfortunate, but I think that putting the backup protocol into play was like the most guaranteed way that we could have go again off of double Soup up here. In the reaction step, we'll destroy this to give Soup up go again. We will return a 0 to 60. So we punch in for 4 here. We throw Soup up for 4. I mean, and like the downfall here is that if our opponent has pretty much anything, they can just say no blocks the rest of the game and try to pressure us. We'll throw this as well. So this is 4 go again. Not being able to use the blue Boom Grenade, like the Scowling Flesh Bag hit so well that it cost us potentially 6 points off of what they did, which is pretty tough. So we're gonna throw Symbiosis Shot. Put them to 26. I'm assuming since they didn't block with anything that they have a go again card, like they have Wild Ride or Pulping or something like that. I feel like it would be pretty like crazy of them to like just not have something like that. So I'm kind of interested in just giving Heart here if I can. And then going 0 to 60, Fender Bender, Harpoon. Potentially using Heart to play an item off the top of the deck if we need to at some point. We should probably just Heart anyway, right? Just to have the potential to play something. Hey, Annabelle, what's going on? So we take 6, go to 5. And then we're really going to have to like try and get back into this one here. So this is going to be 4 go again. Okay, so now, man, it's like, man, the penetration script off the top, like wanting to play it is just so awkward. Because I honestly almost feel like we're going to get more value out of playing the Harpoon than we will anything else here. Yo, Virtually Evil, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you being here and hanging out with us today. We got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're here for the first time. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Or if you live in a part of the world, man, where you don't have hot dog toppings, let me know something you really like to eat. Love to get to know more about you. Did you see Riptide lost in top 4 of UK Nats? I did not get to watch UK Nats today. Carly and I were hanging out the pool today. So I did not get to see UK Nationals at all. What ended up winning UK Nats? So they take this damage. I mean, I know that getting this into play is good, but being able to like strip something from their hand when they obviously want to keep it is exactly where we want to be, especially for purposes of, you know, just trying not to die at this point because we are at 5. And Harpoon is probably the most powerful card we have. Zen ended up winning, so Zen wins US Nationals and UK Nationals. That's crazy. Not super surprising, but crazy all at the same time. Yeah, Zen winning. Honestly, Zen winning Nats is not really surprising. Like, Zen's just really strong. They have a yellow Wild Ride. I guess we'll take the agile windup. It blocks for less, and they give us scabs there. Feels like a weird time to block. We're just gonna throw this for 2. Now there might be a world where like we can try to give like 1 card the rest of the game and try to like, I don't know, stay in this somehow. Not likely. So this is 5, make a might. If I block with the Fender Bender here, yeah, I think we'll block Fender Bender, take 2, go to 3. I think that's where we're at right now. Zen 1 with Talishar weapon? I'm sorry, did you say Talishar as the weapon? You're lying. You're lying. There's no world that happened. I think we want to end on penetration script. We can play this off the top. And yeah, we'll crank. And then we'll go dive through data. And then our opponent doesn't really know what we have exactly, so Zen Talishar actually won with attacking. Most UK Zens were on Talishar. Wow, that is wild to me. That's crazy. Literally had Talishar and he won by swinging the last swing on it before it breaking. That's freaking nuts. Yeah, Evan's a very good player. Evan's a very good player, honestly. Dude, that's wild. First in with Needles, now Talishar. What's next, Kadachis? I mean, yeah, like, so it's like, from back in the day, we used to play Talishar in OG, like, Boost Dash in Blitz because the game never lasted more than 4 turns, so it never mattered. And there was a while where people were playing it in CC, which was, like, kind of nuts to me. But yeah, no, like, it makes sense. If your plan is to kill your opponent in the first 5 turns of the game, like, you can get away with playing Talishar. It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least, but a legal play nonetheless. I am not going to crank this, and then we're going to draw the soup up, which will block for 4 off of the boom grenade, giving us some defensive value here. We can block 7 like this, destroy the boom grenade here, and stay at 3, staying out of reckless range, which I think is ultimately the best, like, the best play we can make here. So let's play High Octane. We're not going to be able to get a ton of value out of High Octane. The boom grenade's looking real good, though. The fact that this is for 6 because of penetration script also gives us more value off of boom grenade, which will allow us to play it off of the top and crank it to get an extra action point, and then we can throw the gun at them multiple times here, which is good. In the reaction step, we'll play this, and then I will crank. So we'll go up to 2 action points. Our opponent's going to take 9, fall down to 7, and then we're going to throw the gun 3 times at them. So they don't technically have to give us another card here. If they have another Blood Rush, like, we're almost assuredly dead, especially considering we have a Teklo Core on top of the deck. Considering how the game started, we've, like, really fought back into this game into a decent positioning, considering how it started. I think this has been not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, Wombat Dash was a real thing. It absolutely was. What was Matthew Folks on? Or Folks, I don't know how you say his last name, but what was he on in top 4? Yeah, this hand, yeah, we just immediately died of Blood Rush Bellow. There's, like, nothing, like, we can only block 6 with this hand, and I'm at 3. Even if we do get through this turn, I was like, maybe he goes Reckless Swing Blood Rush Bellow, and he just dies off the Beast Within, because that's about the only chance we have here to get out of this turn. Classic. So I'm gonna block 7, take 2, fall to 1, and then we're just dead to whatever they do after this. He was on Prism. I mean, I think Prism's a lot better in the metagame than people think right now. Prism's solid. Like Prism has a good matchup spread into a lot of decks. I think people are kind of sleeping on Prism currently. Yeah, and then I have 2 items here. So, I mean, all things considered, for how the game started for us, that was not a bad. We had an AVPT of 17 across 6 turns. I mean, that's really good. Just feels like maybe some of our draws didn't line up. I think that if you pair my ultimate lack of knowledge of Dashio and some of the awkward draws that we put together, we ended up having a losing game there. Although that game, like, I mean, that did not feel that bad. We got a lot closer than I thought we would, for sure. Prism is hard to play. I wholeheartedly agree with that, Mello. Like, it's a very hard deck to play. Do the busted instant speed stuff. I mean, I really hope Flesh and Blood doesn't turn into Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. Like, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, so I'm very glad that I don't anymore. Then the dash went back to... I mean, maximum velocity is probably... like, I think that is, like, the single most powerful card you can play as dash. 17 is higher than yesterday's 16.6. I mean, it's true. We are, like, getting higher AVPT. Now, again, like, we're only playing, like, 5 and 6 turn games, but the fact that we're getting an AVPT of, like, 16, 17, and 18, like, somewhat consistently, really tells me why Mara was playing this at Nationals, and, like, maybe there's something here to, like, look into for, you know, I'm not going to Amsterdam, but if I was, there could be something here to look into. Yeah, Zero. Annabelle plays, she plays new. She does play new. Prism is the best deck that's not widely popular in tournament spread numbers. I actually think that King is 100% on point with that statement. Like, I could not agree with that I could not agree with that more. That is, like, super accurate. That Prism is, like, probably the best underplayed deck in the metagame, wholeheartedly. All right, so I've never played this matchup, but this seems like it could be a tough one for us. Stonewall Gauntlet seems fine, I guess. They don't really prevent damage. We're going to use Modular, and we're going to use Crown. Scramble Pulse seems like it could be pretty okay. This feels like a Teklo Pounder matchup. Maybe we're running everything here. Like, I don't think we want to be playing... Signal Jammer. All of their deck is playing reactions. Dissolving Shield seems good. Overload Script also seems pretty good. Like, giving something overpower could be solid. Maybe we don't play Overload Script. Maybe we just play the 67 card special here. Let's play 66 and cut Penetration Script. I really don't like that card. I understand why it's played, but I have not enjoyed that card to this point. So let's go Boom Grenade. Pitching a Zipper Hit. We are not going to Crank. We're going to play this Boom Grenade and Crank, and then we're going to play Teklo Core. And this is why we go first as Dashio, because we get insane amounts of value like that. Wow. If we don't have to block with this hand, we're going to the moon, boys. To the moon. Now, the odds of us not having to block are what I would call very slim, generally, but we'll take one. Hope it's not a Levels of Enlightenment. I mean, Riptide definitely looks stinky, but Riptide's cool, bro. Riptide's fun. Can we prop streaming some more Riptide soon? Want to try Andrew's list? Was Andrew in the top 4? Is that who we're talking about right now? I could just give Stonewall Gauntlet here. Actually, we could just give the Arm Piece. I mean, they take our High Octane if they hit here, so maybe we're supposed to give... Maybe I'm supposed to... Like, we have the resources, which means I feel pretty comfortable. I want to block here. We're going to use the Boom Grenade here to block 3 and see how they play this. Because we're blocking over the Alluring Wave, so I'm just curious to know... Okay, they don't have anything. Nice. They had the classic... Oh no, that's so bad for us. God, that's so bad. Are we just blocking 6 here? That's bad. I mean, that's fair. I could see penetration being good in like from like being very good in the early game for sure. That makes a lot of sense. But isn't the high AVT expected when you have a 5+ card hand a lot of the time from playing? I mean, yeah, so that's fair. So like we're probably expected to have a higher AVPT every game. That makes a lot of sense. So what if we pitch the Teklo Pounder to play the Boom Grenade, keeping it in the deck, and then we'll discard the Boom Grenade here to the Weakest Link and let them draw a card? Weakest Link's very good into us. I think that might be our best bet here, is to do that so that we can put an item into play. And we only lose a blue card. We do give them an arsenal, but I don't know. I don't know. That's tough. We're just gonna... I don't know. I mean, I could block Gauntlet's Heart and Zipper Hit and like try to play out the turn, but I don't really think that's what I want to do. I think I would rather play this way. So I'm going to pitch Teklo Pounder because I believe it is the best thing we can be doing. We are not going to crank. I'm going to pitch the Teklo Pounder because I think that's a better card to keep in our deck. We discard the Boom Grenade and they get a card to Arsenal. New is the scariest and most talked about push toxic deck during the first week or so. Said she would break the game. And now it's all silent about New because people really, it's not really that bad, but Zen became the worst enemy. So I think that people, like, I think that, you know, most people feel this way, but I think everybody understood that New wasn't actually going to be like the best thing that you could be doing. It's the most frustrating thing that someone can be doing, I think. And I think that's where a lot of that like feeling comes from, King. But I get what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying, though. So we're gonna lead on 0 to 60 for 4 go again. Sink below. Yep. Yeah, the Weakest Link is like a card that's being played for other matchups. It just also happens to be very good into us right now. We're going to activate Heart. I would love to play that Boom Grenade off the top, but we can't. So I am going to play Zipper Hit for 4, boosting. We're going to go up to 3 action points here, and then I'm going to play Harpoon and boost. Now, the good news is that if they do want to stop all the Boom Grenades from going off, they're going to have to give us most of their hand here. We do get to see what's left in their hand after this. They show us the last 2 cards in their hand. It's like we probably don't get to take any of them, but man, one more attack and we were going to get there. We were 1 away. That's half because people dropped Victor Guardians. Are you saying like that's like why New isn't as frightening as she was because people aren't playing the decks that are enabled to like that she's like just insanely good into? Now, the good news is that we get to have a very serious hand next turn, like unless they just like have another like power card in their arsenal they can throw at us. I mean, that's fair. Like New gets a lot of value into like a lot of the decks that play like big like blue cards, like Cranial Crush, Macho Grande. But it's interesting to me because like from the Victor point of view, the matchup is not as bad as everyone thinks it is, in my opinion. I think it's actually a lot closer than most people think it is. As the Victor, so this is going to be all that they're doing this turn, is this. New would be terrifying if the meta had stayed the same way. I mean, that also makes a lot of sense. Yeah, New just loses damage races, and that's ultimately her biggest problem. So we have 2 resources floating. I mean, we can spark for the... we can spark for the penetration script here, which I think lines up pretty well for us, ultimately. Like, I think sparking for the penetration script is really where you want to be. That is, I think that's like really where it lies. I mean, the statement that Victor can damage race new pretty well is like kind of a loaded sentence in my opinion, because I hear what you're saying and I agree with you, but I really don't at the same time, because you can race new as Victor, but the matchup is hard. The matchup is very difficult in my opinion. It is an uphill battle for Victor the entire way, and you have to be an above average Victor player to win that matchup regularly, I think. And when I say win it regularly, I mean I still think you need some luck to win that regularly. It's just how it goes in my opinion. We're going to pay 2 into this. Did I banish the penetration script already? Oh, we took it out. We took it out, didn't we? Man, that would have been really good. Overpowered for Victor for 18, yeah. So I guess we're gonna spark for 0, because I can't spark for 4 here. Did not play it out that way, so we're gonna spark for 0. Probably looking at a Teklo core. We could also get a dissolving shield here if we wanted to. I think we're just getting a Teklo core, and we're gonna arsenal whatever we draw and just try to play around things with Crown of Providence here. Is probably our best bet. And I'm pretty comfortable just arsenaling the outpace. All right, what have we banished so far? Let's start looking at our... We have a Teklo Pounder. Oh, with cost 0 or 1. So we have a Boom Grenade. That's like our only hit here. To make them the... Not to pull Talishar stats to make them the end-all be-all, but she does have a 57% win rate into Victor. I mean, that's like... I hear you when you say like you don't want to make that the end-all be-all, because I understand. I think that trying to make Talishar data the end all be all is a very like negative way to approach the game, but it's there and we have to recognize it, and we do have to be a part of that. So what is this going to be 6 draw card? Well, no, you have to pick draw card or buff here. I mean, I mean, this seems like a good time as any, right? I would think anyway. No, we can save that for another time. There's no reason to block this. Yeah, it is still a very good source. I agree. Victor does have like some of the best win percentage into like if you are like if you like look at the Talishar data, Victor has better data into most things than anything else, but it does do the worst. Like has a very bad conversion percentage. Like what Troll's talking about. I mean, the class she's meant to crush is, that feels a little. I don't know about meant to crush, but yeah, that's why I tell everyone I don't think the matchup is as bad as everyone thinks it is. Like, people are always like, oh, the matchup's so bad, like you can't win if you're playing Victor, and it is an uphill battle. Like, I don't argue with that point, but it is not as bad as everyone thinks it is at all, in my opinion. Let's lead on Outpace. We're going to see if we can hit something off the top of the deck here to make this happen. I'm also a little worried about getting fatigued. I agree, Brim. It is frustrating sometimes to play against new. Like, it can be a very frustrating experience, especially if you're like a newer player. You know, like it can be very frustrating. I understand that. Not hitting our items here is a little... Like, not hitting any items in 3 feels pretty, I don't know, pretty bad. I put Victor in about the 55 to 60% favored, but not super favored. Yeah, I actually agree with that. Dilks just said that he's going to no block new unless you're threatening hand disruption every turn. He's going to go no block and send more damage and disruption every turn. That's probably the best way to approach that matchup. In fact, I kind of think it's exude confidence. That's spicy. I kind of think it's how you have to approach that matchup, in all honesty. Like, I think it's really the only reliable way to look at winning that matchup consistently. I mean, Spinal Crush for 23, that sounds like a heck of a drug, King. Oh, God. Like, we need to be able to play boom grenades off the top here. So I have 2 resources that I can use. I can get back 0 to 60 and go 0 to 60 Scramble Pulse. And we have the soup up as well. Yeah, I think so. You think that's how all of New's matchups? I mean, yeah, like New, if you're going to beat New consistently, you just have to be willing to say no blocks against it, unless it's like surgical extraction or like some other random things. Feels pretty on point, in my opinion. Should have used Heart to pull a 0 cost with Protocol. Are you talking last turn? I was questioning, like, I'm worried about getting fatigued, Troll, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I am a little worried about getting fatigued here. So I guess let's play this. I can pitch this to play an item off the top if we find one, and if not, I can end the turn with it. We've had some pretty negative luck here as far as like finding items off the top of our deck. The soup up is just going to be 4-go again because we destroyed the Teklo Core this turn. I do love the cope in the new chats though, trying to say we were favored in a Prism, Kano, and Max. I mean, yeah, I am inclined to agree that that's just the purple Discord being the purple Discord. The purple Discord is, I would not call it normally a net positive experience for most people. I try to avoid the purple Discord if I can at all costs. I think I'm going to pitch the Boom Grenade to try and keep more targets in my deck. We're not going to crank, and then I'm going to shoot for 2. We have our opponent down to 15 here, down to 13 it appears, so fatigue is less of a scare now, but I am still trying to be aware that there are multiple turns they can have that just like strip what we're trying to do from our hands. I don't think we're going to block this. I think we're just going to say okay here. Yeah, purple Discord is a big yikes sometimes. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm really surprised that like James White and like LSS as a whole have let it get so out of hand. If I'm being honest, I've always kind of just expected more from them. Really, I'm just being real. Just always kind of expected more. I can play Boom Grenade on my turn. And then crack to get back a 0 coster, and then going into my turn, or going into... I guess we could block with Crown here if we wanted. I always assumed it was moderated by LSS, but it might not be, Fabton, to be honest. It honestly might not be. I mean, they do help from time to time, and I'm not saying that it's all bad, but... So if I block like this, I'm forcing them to have something that's not a rousing wave to get me, which is very possible that they do. So I think I'm going to block like this. Also, there's a yellow Boom Grenade off the top of our deck, so it doesn't matter. It gets bumped up to 6, so we banish the Boom Grenade, and then they don't get to take anything. Banish a card with the same color. Yeah, so... There is, oh no, the Justinic happens before the Prognosis, which is tough. So I wonder if I'm supposed to play it. I don't know. I think we're just supposed to let this happen. So did they banish the Fender Bender? Is that what they banished? I think that might have been what happened. So they take the zipper hit.
Go. You love to see it.
Yo, I am about to try and pronounce this to the best of my ability. Synth Funk Sleazecore? Synth Funk Sleazecore. Dude, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and hanging out with us today. Sorry, before we get into our turn here, yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate it. We got 3 people. We got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're here for the first time. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Love to know more about you, man. Let me know stuff about you in the chat, please. So activate this. 1 floating, get a 0 to 60. So let's play High Octane. We can draw the soup up, which is pretty good. And then we're supposed to crack this. We get back our 0 to 60. I could have got back the soup up, to be honest. I would like to be able to put this into play with a 5-card hand, but I think those days are kind of running out here. Best Discord is Aggro Blaze. Thanks, Annabelle. I appreciate it. What a pronunciator. Excellent job. Thank you. I'll watch now and I'll learn to play this game. Well, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a bunch. I mean, we could just go 4 into 4 boost, play this, and then pass and try to set up a good hand. It's probably the best thing we can do. That's also a really good one to put into play off the top of the deck. I mean, I could pitch the soup up to play this and then play Boom Grenade and just pass. I actually really like that play. Dissolving Shield gets real value in this matchup, in my opinion. So we're going to pitch this. Is there another Dissolving Shield on top? The memes. The memes. We're going to shoot the gun since we have an extra action point. It's going to put our opponent down to 13 if they don't block. And then we're going to play Boom Grenade, no crank. Going into our turn, we have a Dissolving Shield in hand, which could be awkward. I don't know. I mean, this hand's like kind of gas, to be honest. This hand is kind of gas. Oh, guys, appreciate you being here and hanging out on Sunday. I know I don't normally stream on Sunday very often, but appreciate you guys being here and hanging out. I'm enjoying being in town, getting to stream a little bit extra while I am here. How many Justin Nicks have they played? Just the one? That's terrifying. So Justin Nick and a Rousing Wave is 10. A Hiss and a Rousing Wave is 4, 5, 6, or I'm sorry, Venomous Bite is 9. So there's not really a way to just like indefinitely play around this. I think we just kind of have to commit to this being what it is. They could take both the 0 to 60s out of our hand, which would be unfortunate, but I'm not sure how we should block this. I don't want to give up both of these and just pass. I don't think that's the correct thing to do. If I block with both the 0, I could block 0 to 60 and throttle here and then use the Dissolving Shield kind of as like a defensive piece. But I need this. I really need to be playing offense. With the Dissolving Shield in play, with the Boom Grenade in play, I need to try and get as much value as I can. Yeah, Bonds is a big yikes here. The ones that give our attacks dominate is Convection Amplifier, and Mara was not playing that in her list. We have 2 Overload script in our deck, but 0 copies of Convection Amplifier. Let's block like this and see what they take out of our deck. Yeah, Bonds is a big yikes. Dude, Fapton, I really appreciate that, brother. That means a whole bunch. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out. It's I was like I always have a blast streaming. And then this goes to 8. And then this goes to 9. And I can literally just use my shield to prevent these 3 points here. So we end up having to give up a lot of value from our hand, but we do get a pretty good we get a pretty good thing here. I mean, this is okay. Be back later unless you're on a stinky Fortnite. Sounds good, Annabelle. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Not a mech player, but it seems cool. I mean, yeah, like, so I think that's a card that, like, we should probably be playing. Now, Mara's not playing it, which, you know, I mean, Mara is... I, like, think Mara definitely, like, understood what she was doing, and I'm sure did a lot of testing when she was putting her list together. But they're, like, she's playing the Overload script, which is the Overpower one, which is interesting to me. I think it's because you can crank it, and the Convection Amplifier you cannot crank, so it's interesting. We're just gonna pass with the Dissolving Shield in play, and just say go. And we draw a pretty good hand. I mean, this hand's solid. I think I'm just gonna say no blocks. If the heist hits, we're able to get back a... We only have the boom grenades over there, but still, I mean, that's pretty solid. Something pretty good to get back. Yeah, I mean, the Overpower script is, like fine. And I definitely think she's playing it because it is a zero-cost thing that... I think she's definitely playing it because it's a zero-cost item that she can play from the top of the deck, and it also has the value of being... It just also, like, the fact that you can crank it, I think is the biggest piece there. I mean, that's fine. I'm still going to activate the shields here. I'm going to take one, and you're going to get a card, which is fine, but I would rather use the shield while I have it here. Count does the days until we get Rosetta heroes in the format. Rosetta's going to be a cool set. I'm actually really excited to see what Rosetta brings to the format and offers. I think it's going to be fun. We're kind of at a point where we have to worry about getting fatigued here. Like, we really have to worry about getting fatigued at this point in time. Like, none of our boom grenades were able to hit. We've not really been able to, like... We've not been able to set up the value 5-card hands that we like, which I think playing against new is always going to be the problem. Okay. Gotta use stilettos to give this go again, and then throw something else at me. Yep. Just trying to put on as much pressure as they can. Which, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The other throttle would be good here. I don't think there's a world where you want to put Tekla Pounder into play. This game is going to go more than 3 turns, but the value that you get off of Tekla Pounder, I think, is less. Like, you're boosting and banishing cards off the top of your deck, and you're better off to just be throwing my own things at me. We don't have that many items left in our deck, and a lot of our boom grenades are gone, which is tough. Because, like, the value, like, that you really get from this deck is boom grenade. Like, boom grenade is where you want to be at. Gosh, we just keep banishing red attacks. I would love to banish blue cards. We just keep hitting reds, which I know that there's, like, a higher density of, but we have banished a lot. I mean, we haven't banished that many red cards, I guess. I guess I'm just griping. Okay, another outpace there. So this is 5 with an on hit of get boom grenade back into play. So I was like, I would be surprised if they didn't block this out. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, opponent. I am going to throw the gun at you. I mean, there are a limited number of gunshots that I have. Like, it is not like plasma pistol. Symbiosis shot is a finite number of shots that I can throw at them. So... God. Bless sack. Oh, my opponent's gonna like have a stroke here. We're gonna hit it just once. We're gonna wait. Now we're gonna throw the gun. Jeez. Jesus. Like having a stroke over there, bro. That was terrible. All right, we put our opponent to 10 and pass. I mean, we're gonna need to keep all the cards that we can, just trying to apply pressure at this point. Leave no witnesses. Like, I hate to let that go, but it's 2 cards or 1 card, and I think we would rather just let the 1 card go. Oh, is this a +1? Okay, so we go to 1. Which is unfortunate. Going to 1 is definitely not where we want to be. And I think we needed to draw this, honestly, if we were going to like get in here. I mean, we could have crowned it, but I don't really know why we would. I guess like maybe we put this on the bottom and just have all reds here. We're not really at a point in the game where we can heart anymore. They really just have to like block as much as they can. I'm going to attempt to throw this. We're going to go zipper hit. I'm curious to know if they even block at this point. They do have to be like worried about like dying to a boom grenade off the top of their deck. I mean, the red attack that ops is very good. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to throw the gun and I'm going to arsenal the fender bender here. Now, we're not going to get to keep a 5-card hand. There's a like 0% chance of that, just looking at our life versus their hand, but I do think we might be able to like make something happen here. So hopefully it's just dagger. Hopefully that's all they're looking to do. So I'm going to go crown. With the crown trigger on the stack, I am going to pitch the Teklo Pounder to play Boom Grenade. We are not going to crank. And then I'm going to put the Boom Grenade on the bottom. We're going to draw the soup up. Now, we're going to hope that they throw dagger and we can block with soup up and try to get them. So this is going to be for 5 and take 2 cards out of our hand, which just like loses us the game on the spot, I think. Yeah, I think that like we just lose there on the spot. It had to be dagger. It had to be a 1-card block there is what we needed. So we'll block 5. I'm not going to blow up the Boom Grenade. I tried IO in the new, and it's kind of the same deal. I mean, I think this, like, it feels like a tough matchup. Now, that could just be, like, my inexperience in the matchup. But it feels like a tough matchup. This has been what felt like an uphill battle. I've also not, like, arsenaled super well or, like, set up the 5-card hands here. So I think there's a big piece of that as far as it's concerned. This is a matchup you cannot rely on Boom Grenades. Maybe we're just supposed to cut Boom Grenades in this matchup. Now, I know we need them to block at certain times, so it's probably just not correct, but... And then I think I'm just dead here. I don't think there's even a way for me to stop this. I mean... Yeah, take the Teklo Core. Because that's just what you should do. And then we have 2 items in the deck here. Dio is a real fun deck, and I'm actually really excited to like continue to like push my limitations of Flesh and Blood and learn more about her and like try to see like how good I can be with Dio, because obviously Dio like has enough gas to where Mara was able to go 7-1 at Nationals with it. Is that a Razor? That's interesting. And then we're dead here to like literally anything. I'm just gonna concede. Yeah, that was tough. That was I mean, it was a good game, 11 turns, but I definitely think that Dio is a deck that does not want the game to go very long. So the longer we play the game, the worse it's going to be for us. I don't know. Let's Signal Jammer and Tekla Pounder seem very good. I like the dissolving shields that we added. Maybe Overload Script is just to be supposed to just be Convection Amplifier, and we just spark for it in a turn we don't like when we're trying to get rid of it. I don't know. I think we're just going to keep jamming it the way that it is and just try to get some better play out of me. I think is like definitely the way to go here. Against Levia, I think we want to go first. Like, I know that Levia wants to go second, but we're not going to throw anything at them. So the idea is that we're definitely going to be going first to try and set up items here. Gauntlet seems like whatever. It seems fine. I think the adaptive plating is important. We want balance because this is a Blood Rush deck. Okay. I think Scramble Pulses are looking pretty good here. The -1 to their equipment can be very strong. Making Husk Pluck for 5 can be solid. Just like kind of putting them on the back foot, I think, in a good situation. Overload Script. This seems like a matchup where Boom Grenades are going to feel pretty lackluster, so I'm interested to cut yellow Boom Grenades here and try 62 cards. We could also bring in Teklo Pounders and try to set up. Yeah, let's try it like this. I don't know how I feel about this, but we're gonna try it and see how it feels. So we're gonna play red Boom Grenade, and we are going to crank, and then we're gonna play Teklo Core, and we're gonna pass. Fender Bender is also a card that gets a lot of value out of our opponent wanting to defend with their equipment. Hopefully they don't have an agile lineup to start filling their graveyard or anything, but if they do, they do. See, and I love this because this is all they can do. So I'm going to say no blocks and take 3 here. I think this is... Okay, no, just kidding. They have the agile lineup. I'm surprised they didn't discard that on their turn or on my turn. They 100% should have. And then we'll just block with an Outpace here. I mean, we could have blocked with the legs there, Brent, but I don't know that I want to. Like, do I want to block with the legs there? I'm really hoping that we hit an item off the top of the deck. It's like one of the biggest reasons to keep a blue. And we're going to go Fender Bender again, boosting. All right. Hey, Simo, what's up? This is not Mara's list. I played Mara's list last night, and then we took her list, and I made a couple of small changes to it, and we're trying it today. The list is feeling fine today. I wholeheartedly believe that like the errors with the deck are my lack of understanding of how Dio wants to play. Wait, am I supposed to heart here just to try and like find an item? Like, I think we are. I don't really want to draw this blue T-bone. We just want to put something into play. I mean, yeah, that sucks, but I guess it's all right. We put our opponent to 31 and we pass. I mean, this seems like a good setup hand. I can Scramble Pulse into Penetration Script, no crank, play a potential item off the top, and then High Octane and Arsenal. It requires me to take some damage here, but I think that's okay. Now, it's really unfortunate because the Scramble Pulse like does not pair well with the Penetration Script. We have the... man, if this was a one-coster, we could go one-coster in a Penetration Script and block with this. And I can't even like heart this way. I like literally have to keep my cards if I want to set it up this way. So she'll get it all shortly. Dio is weird. She go bonk. So I like the fact that like she's super aggressive, There's quite a bit of a learning curve, I feel like, or maybe that's just like me with new heroes in general, which I also feel like has a lot of validity to it. I definitely, like, as a player, have a learning curve to a lot of heroes, so I am curious to see how quickly I'm able to pick up what she wants to be doing. When my opponent blocks 2, we're gonna play the boom grenade. Yes, we are going to crank because there's no reason to keep it in play. And then our opponent takes some extra damage there. We can play the penetration script, which we're going to. Again, I kind of want a heart, just to try. Well, I guess we can't really find something off the top, and I guess I'll need the blue for next turn, so I'm not gonna heart. And I want to leave these counters for the high octane, so I'm just gonna keep the high octane in arsenal and pass here. It's like, I hope you roll a 1. Well, this is a lot of damage. I mean, we can play this on our turn, so we can pitch the Teclo Pounder to play this. Like, we have a very, very poor hand, to be honest. This is not a great hand. 3 blues in one hand is very, very awkward. We're going to block 2, take 7. Winter feels like it's cooling off in the house now some. Let's try my glasses now. All right, yeah, we're not fogging up as bad as I thought we were going to after my headset tries to rip my hair off. Yeah, we'll take 3 here. Go to 11. Think I need to try and keep enough pressure to play offense here. Is it fogging up, or did I just clean my glasses? Piss poor. So it's still fogging up some. I don't know why it's so hot in the house today. All right, so let's play this off the top. I don't think we're going to crank here. I hate to play the high octane because it's just like drawing this sucks. But we can force some of their equipment out here, which I think might be okay for us. So let's boost. That is a very unfortunate amount of blues for us here. I'm curious to see what they take. I mean, I think that's actually an okay one to arsenal if we want to. We have played an item off the top of the deck, so activating heart only serves as resources here. But I think we need the resources to just be able to play our turn out. Our turn is, I don't know, very mediocre. I would say mediocre at best, to be honest, but so we push 4, put our opponent down to 20, and then we have 4 shots of the gun and 4 action points. So we do get to push through. We do get to push 8 points right here. They're going out of their way to keep their hand, so something tells me they have a Blood Rush turn. I don't know what other hand Leviah would want to keep here. Nope, it's not what I wanted. Sorry, opponent. Sorry, I keep clicking too fast here today. That's something I've like really been doing throughout the stream. Is I've clicked a little fast too many times, and I've noticed that sometimes I get into that that rhythm, that flow that happens sometimes. I mean, I guess they're trying to protect their flip, so maybe they want to block like that. I don't know. God, we just draw 2 items? Jesus. All right, so there's no go again here, which is kind of nice. So we have to decide how we want to go about this. We can block with the plating on the script. Or I'm sorry, we get to give the penetration script to block plating for sure. And then what's the rest of our turn look like? We play backup protocol, crank. We can plan to pitch this or arsenal it, I think is what we want to do. We can get back a zipper hit. No, yeah, let's get back an outpace. I like the fact that it can't be defended by equipment. And they're probably going to want to give Husk this turn. So we play that and crank. We have 1 floating after we activate it. We throw the outpace. I can spark for 0. to go get like a potential boom grenade. And then depending on what we draw, we have heart if we need it for something. And all of our stuff has overpower this turn, which is pretty good because Levi is not exactly a heavy D-React deck. They're going to go to 13 and flip here. And then they're going to block on Husk the very first time we give them an option to. I kind of want to Arsenal this, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we want to pitch it for resources. All right, so we're going to play Backup Protocol Red. We are going to crank. We're going to pitch our blue to go get an outpace. Outpace is for 4 overpower. Yeah, I like the little overpower mechanic here. So this is 4 go again overpower. We're going to spark for 0. I cannot really use Harpoon effectively this turn, which is a big sag. We're going to spark for 0 here. We're going to have to get something that we can crank. So we'll get a red boom grenade. And do I want to get a red boom grenade, actually? I guess the... Yeah, I think this seems fine. We can go Harpoon, which we know they're just going to block. So I'm pretty tempted to just play Overload script, Arsenal the Harpoon, and pass. Now, we're at 8. Like, the Husk just goes away, which is all right. And, like, we're at 8, and they're going to have a pretty good turn here. Like, if they have a Blood Rush, we're just Omega dead here. Like, there's no world we can do anything if they have a Blood Rush. We would just be, like, 20 kinds of dead right here. So... we haven't played an item off the top of the deck. We could throw Harpoon for, like, no value here to try and find an item off the top of the deck and then play the Overload script afterwards. Maybe I'm supposed to Heart here. See if there's a thing. Maybe there's an item off the top of the deck when we Heart. There's not, but I do like drawing Outpace a lot better than anything else. Playing Harpoon does not give us any value as far as, like, actually taking cards from their hand. So we're probably better off to play the Overload script and pass. The only way our opponent doesn't block with Husk here is if they, like, have a stroke. So we're going to... I'm sorry, that's not true. We're still going to activate Heart because that is a decision I stand by. I'm not going to do that to my opponent. I also don't want the blue. We're not going to crank. I'm going to Arsenal this and I'm going to pass. That would have been a really good time to have physically drawn a, drawn a soup up here, because we would have blocked with the boom grenade or the script there to get value that we wanted. Blasmo. And this is 6 go again. So looking at our hand, if I block with Zipper Hit, I can go Outpace, Dive Through Data into Harpoon for pretty good amount of value. I can also try to keep the Zipper Hit if I want. Like, I can block 3 here, take 3, go to 5, and then kind of see how they play that one out. Okay. I don't really know what they're undoing here. Maybe they want to discard an Agile Windup. I don't know. Like, if they discard an Agile Windup, or, like, any kind of windup here, and then they close the chain, they technically have 3 cards over here that gives them the ability to get what they want out of this. Or maybe they wanted to go back so they could, like, pummel me here, which would be wild. If they pummel me, bro, like, would be crazy. I played against a Levi that was playing pummel one time. It was really interesting. And they rolled a 1. Honestly, you love to see it. Honestly, you love to see it. I don't know why they conceded. I don't think the game was even remotely over there. So before we look at the top of the deck and kind of talk about the rest of the hands here, I'm definitely going to... we're going to talk about my line here. So my hand next turn was going to be lose these 2 items, and then we had the Overload script. It was going to be pitch T-Bone to play Outpace because they can't block with equipment, which we want. We would have then played Dive Through Data boosting. We would have then played Pulse Wave. Then at that point, if we hadn't hit anything, we would have activated Heart. Now No, I'm sorry. So we would have thrown Outpace. If we don't have an item, we activate Heart. We go Zipper Hit, Dive Through Data into Harpoon, so that we physically get to throw 16 Overpower, and we still have some equipment left and the gun afterwards. Classic Brute line, roll Scabs, concede. Now, with that in mind, that was going to line up in a way to where we boost this away, Heart these away, boost, and then we could have played Teklocore. Man, that's an interesting decision, because at that point, like, our opponent was at 9, and I wanted to push as much damage as we could. So the idea of playing Teklocore is probably worse than just pushing the 4 extra damage there. So anyway, we finally get a win. Let's go. He failed Wild Ride and failed Scabs. Key to winning is Dio. I mean, yeah, the fact that he missed on the Wild Ride early, like, I don't know if he drew that or if he kept the card in his hand, because he didn't block that turn, but I'm going to assume he drew it. But yeah, my opponent did miss on Wild Ride and on the Scabs, which was like pretty sweet for us. Oh god, excuse me. So they wouldn't have had Blood Debt there, Simo. Levia, the card that they had flipped into makes it to where they just banish instead of losing life. So we wouldn't have actually had they wouldn't have lost any life to Blood Debt there at that point in the game. I concede when Brutes roll 6, it's only fair. Oh, that's funny. All right, I think this is a Scramble Pulse matchup, and I think we can cut. We don't want too many 2-cost cards with our low resource curve, and we can cut the penetration script. So we're looking at 60 cards right here. Overload script and Dissolving Shield are kind of mid. So I'm going to run Scramble Pulse. I'm going to put in Scramble Pulse, cut Heist, and the penetration script, and we're going to play it like this. We're going to equip the modular, the adaptive plating as the leg piece here. I'm honestly curious to know if I'm using the... I mean, I think modular is pretty much like anytime you want to block, you want modular over accelerate. Like, you want adaptive plating over accelerators, right? Stream sniping you, my guy. Good luck. Have fun. Brad, good luck, brother. Good luck, man. I hope this isn't a run back of the KO game from earlier, man. I was like, we got rickrolled earlier, but I am looking forward to our game, man. We're going to equip legs. Going first. This is a tough hand. Again, this is also one of those situations where part of me wants to push damage to try and get an item off the top of the deck to put something into play. But the Clash of Agility that my opponent had earlier was very good. So let's try getting some stuff here. We'll try and find some stuff. Also, we got a big hydrate that I missed like a few minutes ago. Sorry about that, Mello. We're gonna catch up here. All right. Oh. My opponent takes 1 and we get to opt here, which is awesome. Didn't we just put this on the bottom of our deck? Like, literally. We could activate Heart here if we wanted to. I don't know. I did. They were talking about the Zen list from Nationals earlier, running Talishar, which is like completely crazy to me. Like, that's just, I don't know. That's just wild to me. We're going to play Boom Grenade, not Crank, and I'm going to pass. Because I like the idea of being able to play Scramble Pulse next turn. We're going to Arsenal the High Octane, because I think that card gets more value the longer we play this game. Welcome back, Annabelle. Played my first Armor today with my first CC deck and went 2-1. Thanks for streaming Azalea and learning. Helped find lines better. Hey, Foxy, I'm glad to hear you went 2-1. That's exciting. I was like, I'm happy that you went 2-1. That's great to hear. Excuse me. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad that you went 2-1. Appreciate you coming by and letting me know about that too. That's really exciting. So I don't really want to take 8, but I don't think we have a choice. Our hand is just really good, and we can try to push a lot of damage here with Scramble Pulses and a blue off the top of our deck. So, I mean, I think this is like a pretty aggressive turn that we have set up here. So we get to play Backup Protocol. We are going to crank Backup Protocol. I'm going to play High Octane, draw into a blue. And then we're going to go Scramble Pulse. We are going to boost. So this is going to be 5 go again on hit Boom Grenade. And all of their equipment has -1. I like having the Scramble Pulse here because my opponent is not incentivized to actually physically use their equipment, which gives me a lot of value. Yellow Boom Grenade off the top, or not off the top, but we just had the Yellow Boom Grenade, which is really good there. I think, I would like to Arsenal this, but we're going to... We could activate Heart if we wanted to. We haven't played anything off the top, so we can still use Dio. So we should activate Heart. Now, the equipment does not get the -1 anymore, but I think that's okay. I mean, I guess I could just get this back and play it again, right? Does seem like good value. Does leave us without the option of playing an item off the top if we see one. So I think I would rather do this, and if we hit an item, we're in a good place. But if not, we're just going to throw the gun a couple times, and then we're going to Arsenal the Scramble Pulse, setting up for next turn. Yeah, I'm really intrigued, honestly. Like, and I know that we've kind of talked about this like already a little bit today, but the fact that any hero won Nationals won any level Nationals event playing Talishar is crazy. Not like playing Talishar online, but like playing Talishar just in general, like, is just nuts to me. Did we just put this? Did we just get Moto Bug twice? Jeez. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna apologize to Brad here, and then we're gonna run this back and put Soup up on the bottom. Yeah, we're gonna put this on the bottom and see another Soup up there. Was a lot heavier on 2-cost finishers. What 2-cost finishers are we talking about? Just to clarify, Simo, like, what do you, can you share some of them with me? I'm just curious. I did see a well-known UK player a few weeks ago, right before US Nationals, put on Twitter and say, like, here's hoping that US competitors haven't figured out the Zen sauce yet, or something like that. And I just kind of laughed because I was like, I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm all about some sauce. I mean, this could be a good gauntlet block. We just get the block for 2. This hand is a little awkward. The idea of Scramble Pulse with our blues can be a little weird at times. There's probably a reason that Mar is only running the 2 heists instead of like throttles and max V's in the deck, because you need more blue, more resources to like make that efficient. But I do like, so right now this hand is 0 to 60, Harpoon, activate Heart to play Scramble Pulse. I could also just block with the Harpoon. We could Arsenal the Harpoon here, which is also a really good line. We could just go 0 to 60. We could go Scramble Pulse 0 to 60, Soup up, and then Arsenal this, which is probably the better play. We'll take 8 and go to 20 here, I think. I think we'll just take 8 and go to 20. Okay. Yeah. I like arsenaling the Harpoon and trying to set up on like a very explosive hand that we can really try to... No, actually, I'm sorry. We should start here. We should start here because I want to activate Dio to see if we can hit an item off the top of the deck to fuel next turn. It was wild when I first saw it watching it live, but you either ended the chain on CNC or Weakest Link or Talishar. Okay, so like literally was just trying to play 2-cost finishers. So like CNC, Weakest Link. What's another good 2-cost that people are playing right now? Amnesia is really good in the mirror. That people are playing. Brad said he's thinking right now. Yeah, Amnesia is a really good one that people are playing in the mirror. So I could see you just like being on all of the finishers and like like I imagine that deck's probably playing some like what 30 to 33 blues, somewhere in that ballpark. I think my Zen deck that I'm working on is like 33 blues. The Weakest Link has such a good like The weakest link has so much value in the metagame right now. I'm like, I keep like going back and forth on my Victor deck and debating what I want to be playing. If I want to be playing Crush the Weak, or if I want to be playing, Crush the Weak, or if I want to be playing the weakest link in that spot. Some people are playing not Amnesia, the other one, Humble. Some people are playing Humble in Victor because it pairs well with Pummel, but I thought that the concept of playing the weakest link in Pummel might be pretty cool in Victor. It's also a 3-block. It's a 6 power card, so... but Crush the Weak is a really solid card that has been proven time and time again why it represents and just gets a lot of value. We could try to take a card here, but it's not likely, right? So we should just throw the 4. I think this is the best play. 0 to 60 is a good card to have, and as long as we draw, like, you know, a blue and another, like, you know, another boost card here, like, we're okay. We're up 7 points. Both of us still have all of our equipment, which is not a positive for us, in my opinion, especially considering that he's been to play Blood Rush. The weakest link was a terribly British quiz show, and I can't help but hear the theme music when people say the card's name. That's funny. Crush the Weak is a big game. I mean, Crush the Weak is really good. Crush the Weak has a lot of value in the current metagame as Victor, and it also does the job of being a breakpoint card, which I like. The only difference between playing Crush the Weak and playing Crush the Weak and the weakest link is the fact that the weakest link has less hits but has to be fully blocked. Those are the big, like, separators there. Brad said he's got a real tough one coming up here to give him a second, that he's really thinking this one out. So we'll probably, I don't know, we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about while we're letting Brad think this one through here and work through this one. I'm curious to know, like, what he has here. If this is like a Sash, like, potential Scabs roll. It's interesting. He's played double. Brad's played double Blood Rush here, and I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what his turn ends up looking like here. But yeah, Crush the Weak has a lot of play in Victor, and it's really good, but the weakest link also gives a lot of value in the fact that it has to be fully blocked out if you're going to block it out. All right, so he's cracking Sash here. Brad just said that he wanted a fair game, so he pretended like I didn't play the Scramble Pulse before I played the 0 to 60 there. I sleeved up my Crush the Weeks for my Armory last week and got paired into Azalea 2 or 3 rounds. You hate to see it. I mean, you do hate to see that. That's tough, I agree. So, I mean, the clear block here is... I mean, we should probably save some here, right? So, what if we block here and just take 9, go to 11? I think that's okay. And then we can crack... We're going to draw blue, which means we can actually block... We can actually block with Outpace and Zipper Hit here, which gives a lot of value here because we're going to draw until we know it's a blue Throttle on top of the deck. So really getting the value that we want. Still won, but I didn't get to play the new sauce. I mean, yeah, it's like... I was like, Azalea's a pretty decent matchup, so... Let's crack Balance. We'll see what they draw and discard. They discard a Bear Fangs, so this is for 10. So we're going to... We're going to block like this. We're really going to hope this isn't like a Command and Conquer or something crazy. We're going to take 2, go to 9. And then... They close the chain because we blocked with a Snowball Gauntlet, which makes sense. This could just be Claw. So Claw is for 7. So block 2, take 5, fall to 4. And then they still have Flesh Bag to try and get us here, which is pretty tough. It's pretty awkward for us. Ended up being a pretty good turn, but Brad ended up not needing to crack the sash there. I don't know how relevant that was going to be to part of his plan. Let's play the Boom Grenade. I guess we'll choose not to crank today. So we'll choose not to crank. We will go Fender Bender because it punishes Brad for giving us equipment by giving us plus value from the Fender Bender here. So I like that. Save gloves for last attack or else they'll just break the chain. I mean, the gloves got value either way though, right? Like if we use it on the last attack or if we use it there, it doesn't matter, right? It's the same thing. After the games today, I mean, I liked it. Like, Trinit's a lot of fun. Dashio is a lot of fun, and I think she offers... It's one of those heroes that is, like, ultimately complicated, and there's a lot of lines every turn, and I don't think there is a singular, independently, always correct answer for the most part. Like it's kind of like playing a weird puzzle. So I don't know. There's a lot to figure out with Dashio before I would really feel super comfortable playing her at like a big tournament or anything like that. Guess it depends if you're expecting an on hit. I mean, that's fair. If there was an on hit at the end there, then it would have been... If there was an on hit at the end there, then it would have been better to save the gloves. We're probably not going to get value off the Boom Grenade this turn. We are going to get the Arsenal hours 0 to 60, which is nice. And then we're going to be able to use plating for the Boom Grenade here. Shows us Smash Instinct and Beast Within. Blocks with Beast Within and the Bone Breaker. Yep. That's why I like her in Blitz. It has the ability to throw a ton of damage very quickly if left unchecked. Yeah, in Blitz, it was like the value, like every turn was just insane in Blitz. Was just getting like just crazy amounts of value all the time, which was really good. Man, so they were able to block 6 from hand and throw a 2-card 10 at me. I guess it's really a 2-card 8 with mites from the last turn. So this is 3. I don't think I can just give up my hand here. Like, there's no world where I'm winning the game just giving up my hand. Is there any merit to going 1, 2, 3 to block 9 from hand and then with heart? Or I guess just block 9 from hand, take 1, play Boom Grenade and pass, and hope that we can set up a more explosive hand. Like maybe they have an awkward hand, or I mean, KO doesn't have a ton of awkward hands. They have a ton of Go Again in their deck. It's just how KO is like designed to run. So I want to stay at 3, which means I can only take 1. So we're probably just gonna have to go to 1 here and like kind of forget, like just like give in to the Reckless Swing here. If I block with Dive Through Data, I can block 7, take 3, go to 1. I think that has to be our play. I don't think there's a better option here. And there maybe there's an argument to keeping Dive Through Data over the Outpace, but I don't think so. Considering that like Outpace just says you can't block with equipment. And then we get to play Boom Grenade. We are going to crank. I think we have to try and like force damage here in any way that we can. And the fact that we're coming in for 4 and we have a Boom Grenade on hit and a Boom Grenade off the top of the deck means if they take 1, they're really taking 7, which would put them to 6. And then it would be 4 into the gun twice here. But it's all about how they block and what they do. I guess if they have the Reckless Swing, it doesn't matter. God, if we'd hit the red Boom Grenade at the top of the deck, we'd have just won the game right there, which would have been actually insane. Going to 1 is always scary against like the Brood decks, but sometimes you make decisions where it's like if I play around Reckless Swing, I'm never able to win the game. So I think going to 1 is like ultimately the correct decision there. Hopefully it pans out for us. Hopefully, I don't want to saying like not having respect for the Reckless Swing, because like the Reckless Swing is, do I like, so what, we force one more card out of their hand, which means I don't know that I want that in my deck. I don't know that I want this. Like, it's a good card, but it just depends on like what their 2 cards they get to keep are. So we'll shoot the gun here, and they'll block with Scabskin Leathers. Of course, I guess if I activate Heart, then they get to block with Equipment again and keep 3 cards, which is really not where I want to be. So I think I have to do it this way. Yeah, if they get to keep 3 cards there, I'm super dead. Yeah, they would have went to 1 and kept the Scabskin Leathers. I mean, yeah, this is 8, and I can only block 6. It's unfortunate, but if they keep the Blood Rush, I'm even more dead there. Yeah, dude, it's crazy that we had an AVPT of 20 across 5 turns and lost. It's wild to me. I mean, yeah, KO is really good. I mean, there's a reason KO was in the finals of the game. Brad played that very well. The double Blood Rush turn was like pretty like damning for us, put us behind in a pretty big way. Yeah, I mean, we had an AVPT of 20 and lost across a 5-turn game, which is like kind of wild to me. It's like really interesting. Wonder what changes we could make to the deck. I mean, the deck feels very like uncomfortable today. Like, I know that we play as many Boom Grenades as we can just because of the value of playing Boom Grenade and being able to play it off the deck. Like, you want all 9 of them in the deck because the more times you can play Boom Grenade at the top of the deck, the more times you can get your opponent. That Bear Fangs discard hurt? What Bear Fangs discard? I don't remember you discarding anything like crazy bad to a Bear Fangs that I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah, GG, Brad. It was a close game. Average value per turn was 8 for me. I've been there, Max. I've been there. I played a couple games against Prism as Victor where my AVPT has been like 3 or 4. Like, it's terrible. Like, it's just been terrible. Absolutely awful. All right. I'm trying to think of like cards that we could change. Like, maybe a little bit later I'll sit down and like kind of delve through the deck here and just like, I don't know, look at some of the cards that we can play and just kind of talk about the things that we can play and things that might help make the matchup better. Crown of Providence. I think this is an accelerator matchup for extra action points here. They play a ton of reactions. I don't really think this matters. Scramble Pulse could be good because if they run the Leg Piece into us, this is definitely a Teklo Pounder matchup. We might just be able to play 65 cards here so we don't get fatigued. I don't think this is a Signal Jammer matchup. Overload Script seems what I would say is medium at best because they want to play instant speed cards. So I don't know. Boom Grenades also seem to have like what I would call almost like a negative effect here. I don't know. We'll try 65 and just kind of see what happens. I'm not betting the farm on this one though. This feels kind of tough. My double BRB Sash turn on the second Wild Road, I discarded my Bear Fangs and drew a blue. Oh, gotcha. So the Bear Fangs would have been for like 12, which would have been like crazy good there. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense actually. So we're gonna play Fender Bender. We're going to block with Fender Bender because we have to. We're going to pitch the... I think I need to be safe, pitch the boom grenade to... I need to keep the blue boom grenade in my hand so that I have the option to play the Teklo Pounder. Backup protocol red. We are going to crank. We're going to throw the Fender Bender here. So this is going to be 4 go again. They probably have like a, yeah, just a Fate Foreseen. Something tells me this is gonna, this is going to be a tough matchup, I think. I'm going to run out the Teklo Pounder and we're going to pass. I think that's where we need to be. Setting up Teklo Pounder gives us a lot of value here for like our entire game plan at what we want to do. I can return the Fender Bender, which is just a good play, I think. So we'll just take 5 here. We will just take 5, go to 28. Yeah, and this actually doesn't matter for once. We're just going to go to 22. We need to clear the board and we need to start pushing offense here. When they go to end the turn, we're going to crack to get this back. I'm very surprised they're not playing Footsteps into me. I would be playing Footsteps into maybe I only want to play Footsteps against Dash IE. I don't know. That's tough. Is there an Oonga Booga play big thing archetype in Flesh and Blood? I'd love to play that. So yeah, since there is actually, it's the deck we just played against. It's called KO, Armed and Dangerous, is the name of the hero. Like KO tries to play like 2 to 3 chain links a turn, but most of his attacks are like between 6 and 8 power. So KO is like definitely like one of your best heroes for that, for sure, Synth, for sure. We're gonna come in for 4 go again. We are not going to crank, just in case they have something bad for us. So they take a bunch of damage here, and then we get to shoot the gun and arsenal the Fender Bender. And we're setting up for a good hand next turn. We'll see what they do here. We'll see what they do here. I like the... You like the low INT, high STR? I'm not sure what you mean, but KO is a lot of fun. KO is a really cool deck, for sure. That is for sure. I mean, even if they do take our blue, we're just going to draw blue, right? Which is actually, like, insanely good. Yep. Take a blue, which is fine. And then we don't have any items back, so I'm kind of incentivized to block with the crown, put this to the bottom, and then we have the resources that we want to be able to play out our hand here. Putting Heist on the bottom, and Penetration Script is really good, although it does make for an awkward resource turn. So we'd have 1 floating if we put this into play, which means, so I'd have to pitch Boom Grenade to play Penetration Script, no crank. Play Fender Bender boost, pitch Soup Up to activate Heart, and then go Zipper Hit into Outpace into Gun, which I think is okay. Playing this off the top feels very bad, but I still think this is okay. Actually, I wonder if I'm supposed to go Fender Bender boosting, pitch the Outpace to play Zipper Hit for 6 go again, shoot the gun, and then arsenal the Soup Up, because next turn we'll get value off of the Teklo Pounder of being able to throw this as a 0 for 6 with go again. Low intelligence, high strength, Hulk smash. Okay, I've never seen it typed out that way. I like that though. That's funny. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, dude, then let me tell you. KO is the deck for you. I mean, more intelligence than most people think to play KO, in my opinion. But I get what you're saying though, for sure. Yeah, I think Arsenaling Soup Up is the way to go here. We did play an item off the top of the deck, so there is no reason to really like do anything else here. KO and Zen feel like they would be really rough to play into as Dash.io. So we're 1-1 into Zen from last night. I do think that the Dissolving Shield might make our matchup a little bit better. But I definitely think that KO is tough. Like, KO is a tough one to try and figure out. At least it's felt that way so far. It felt very awkward for me. This hand's phenomenal. I am kind of incentivized to block with the heist here because we can heart. Yeah, so, I mean, this could be a command and conquer. Maybe I'm just supposed to say no blocks here, actually, and go to 10. It feels bad if they have nothing, but I guess if they have nothing, we just get to play more offense, right? The weakest link is actually fine with me. We don't have a hand that really gets deterred by it. But I want to block just to like save life and try to like play the value game plan here. It's interesting. This is like the most aggro Enigma deck I've played against. Now it's very much so been their draw. Like it's very much been their draw. Like sometimes Enigmas get the like, you know, aggro draws and sometimes they don't. We're definitely going to play this Teklo Core. This isn't really good off the top. Teklo Core off the top of the deck. This is 7 go again. Our opponent goes to 12. We are going to boost this as well. This is 5 go again. And then, I'm sorry, we want to throw the soup up for 5 go again because of the penetration script, which puts our opponent to 2. And then we have the gun. And we can get a little frisky here if we want to and throw the gun again to force a card out of our opponent's hand. Knowing that we're at 7, we might be able to push this through. Heist would be a popper. Oh, wow. That... Get +1 power. Man, Heist would have been a popper. Oh, man. Dude, Brent, thank you for pointing that out. See, stuff like this is why I lose games so often, guys. I think we're definitely going to crack Accelerator to push another gun. I want you to give me something that you don't want to give me. You either don't want to give me Traverse because you do not have any chi in your deck, or you don't want to give me a card from your hand. Now, this is probably the +1 if I had to guess. This probably isn't the Uphold Tradition. It's probably the Aqua Lapse or whatever it's called that gives an attack +1 because they want to push the weakest link over or something like that. But getting the Spears is really good. Also means that if we draw into a Scramble Pulse or a Heist right here, we have another popper. I hate that I didn't recognize that last turn, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that kind of stuff. We can pretty freely block with Zipper Hit and Spark of Genius if we want to. It's pretty decent blocks this turn. I'm not sure what I want to block with here. So they're going to give it go again. They're going to pitch to activate Enigma, and then it's going to be draw card and 5. So this is going to be 5 go again, and they draw a card with 2 floating. I really don't know where I want to block. They have opened up Word, which I probably just the correct play. So this goes away this turn. If we block here, we have Tunic resources to put High Octane in, draw into Blue Outpace, which kind of sucks, but it's fine, I guess. I could Spark for a backup Protocol Red to give myself another like counter off the gun here and to play High Octane. Red Zipper is also a popper. Okay, so Mara is playing poppers. She's just using Penetration Script as like a one-of to get poppers here. So I think we're going to block here and take 2, go to 5. And kind of play this one out. Okay, so they're just playing the lapse to give it +1, which means they do not have like a CNC in their hand. We're going to block here and stay at 4, and we're going to hope that they don't have something to push another card out of our hand. Now, they do, which is unfortunate. So we're forced to give the Spark of Genius here and go to 2, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, it's definitely not the best thing that could have happened for us there, but that is okay. Now, this physically blocks for 1. This doesn't have ward, right? So we're going to go High Octane, draw into the Outpace. I am going to go 4, go again. Man, like, drawing into that would have been insane. Drawing into that would have been insane. I was like, this has to be a D-React here. I would assume, I was like, I have to have a D-React here. There's no other world they don't have something like this. So, 4, go again. We're going to activate Heart, trying to just find something that we can play. We get rid of both Scramble Pulses, right? 2 Scramble Pulses? Man, we went back-to-back Scramble Pulses and Dive Through Data right there. Unlucky, as they say. Shoot the Gun. We have this and 1 more. So they do have a Chi now. I think they made one last turn. And then shoot the gun 1 more time. I would have really liked to have found an item off the top of the deck. I think we're going to lose this game. We were just like, man, I mean, we might win this game. It's possible, but feels very unlikely at this point. This is a game that I thought was going pretty well, too. So we have 0 poppers, which means we're forced to block 9 here. Man. Couldn't we have vamped there? I'm not sure where we could have vamped. I assume that they... Okay, so in my head, we weren't going to use Meridian Pathway. Or I'm sorry, we weren't going to use Vambrace because they were going to use Meridian Pathway. I should have used it to force them to have it there. Would have been the most correct thing we could have done. It would have forced them to use it. And I think, yeah, I should have used it there. In my head, like, it didn't matter, but it actually did. Because they were just going to get rid of the Meridian Pathway as opposed to the Spectral Shield anyway, but yeah. We could have cleared both shields, or they would have given us the pathway there, so that's... Yeah, in my head, they had used it for something else. Like, it was irrelevant in my head. Why, I can't tell you sitting here now, but it was irrelevant just a minute ago in my head. So we get to pitch Teclo Pounder to block with Vambrace. Because all they could do was throw the Ripple away at us. Boom Grenade blows up. We play Teclo Core and pass. Was like, I'm intrigued that they're not attacking with this first. We're going to block with Dive Through Data. This card is interesting to me. I mean, we just don't have poppers in our deck. So we had one to turn to the penetration script. So if I'd blocked with the Scramble Pulse like I ended up doing anyway, we win this game, right? Can I get to see the top card of your deck ability when I play KO, please and thank you? That's funny. So yeah, we would have won this game if I would have used the Scramble Pulse or whatever I had in my hand earlier. We had something in our hand. Oh, it was the Heist. When I had the Heist in my hand, if I had blocked with it adequately, like when it was a popper with the penetration script, we end up winning this game. And then, yeah, I'm just dead because we don't have a popper here. Big Sag. So, again, a mistake that I made cost us that game because the Spears of Reality that we ended up having, we ended up just blocking with the heart going to 5 and then hoping that we could keep something else, and they had exactly 5. So if we block with the Heist there, we actually pop the Spears of Serality in their turn, and then we get to keep the Spark of Genius in our hand, which opens us up to a better turn there. So yeah, mistake on my part cost us the game there. It's good to recognize that that game was lost because of a mistake by me instead of by something else. It is good to recognize that. I keep like wanting to look at the list and see like what we could fix, what we could be doing, like what we could change. I don't know, like it just feels, I just feel very uncomfortable playing this deck. And I know that that gets better the more I play it, but I don't know. I just feel like I should be doing better with this deck and I'm not for some reason. Okay, so against Bolton, we want Crown. We want Stonewall Gauntlet. We want Modular. We want our adaptive plating here. Scramble Pulse seems like fine, I guess. Dissolving Shield could be pretty good, I guess. Being able to like block their Lumina hits with Dissolving Shield could be sweet. And I think other than that, it's just a straight race, right? Like Signal Jammer doesn't really matter that much, I think. Teclo Pounder is like a setup card. Scramble Pulse, not that relevant. Overload Script, not the matchup. And we'll cut a penetration script, I think, and just run 61 here. We are going to go our legs. I would love to be going first so that I could put Teclo Core into play and Arsenal to 0 to 60, but I don't know. Yeah, Dio is a big brain deck, that's for sure. That is for sure. Do I see a difference between like the one that I'm playing in Mara's list? I mean, I changed 2 cards. Literally the only changes I made where I added in the Dissolving Shields on the side. So it didn't make any like real changes there as far as that's concerned. So I'm gonna take 1, and then if they throw Raiden at me, I'm gonna block T-Bone and take 1. We're gonna block this out here. Yeah, I didn't make any like serious changes or anything like that. Don't cards not get +1. They're in the combat chain by default. The only reason KO's ability works is because specifically. I'm not sure what you mean, Brim. I'm not sure that I'm following you in what you're saying there, buddy. Does the highlights of Dash.io outvalue the consistency and easier playlines of Dash.ie? So far in my experience, no. So far. Now, again, I'm very new to Dash.io and like trying to learn a lot of the lines like when I'm playing it. So like I'm learning the hero while trying to take in and like, you know, trying to I'm learning at the same time, so I don't think I'll really be able to have like an honest answer to that question, Kafrika, at least for a little while. So we're gonna play this and we're gonna crank. I mean, we might as well. And then, okay, so they actually got us with a sink below there, and because we cranked, it puts us in like I guess a little bit of a worse spot. Because we could have kept it for next turn and tried to set up. The one good news is that we can use our adaptive plating if we want to this turn. That's, yeah, I don't know. That's man, we got by the sink below right there. That's a huge turn for Bolton turn 0. Are you talking about putting in the Spirit? Because if that's what you mean, then yeah, like putting in the Spirit's very good. The 2 resources means we can block with the Outpace here. Or I guess we can block with nothing. So I'm going to go 0 to 60. We're going to see if we can find something off the top here. I'm probably going to probably not going to activate. Well, no, we should activate Heart, right? We should. I think so, yeah. what you were describing, but penetration script can't turn an attack into a popper. So if you read penetration script, Brims, it just says your mechanologist attacks get +1. Now think about that in the same light as Channel Mount Heroic, as Brad is talking about. When Briar was in the format, Channel Mount Heroic was just like it turned all of your stuff. It like actually turned all of your stuff into poppers. It gave them all +3 even when they were blocking. So it working that way, that like the penetration script would actually give us would actually make our cards poppers there. Feels weird to play against IE with this deck and lose despite doing cool stuff, but they start with 10+ life from item and Teclo Pounder. I mean, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense there. I could see that like really being the case. I could see that being the situation where you do just kind of lose to IE. I don't know. Like I'm a big fan of playing like Dash IE. I really like Dash IE, but Dash IO definitely has like the cooler play patterns and like more like broken interactions of the game that are really fun. And I definitely think there's a reason that Mara went 7-1 at Nationals with, you know, like a extremely similar list to what we're playing right now. Mara's also like what I would say I feel pretty comfortable saying a better player than me. So I'm not surprised that she did as well as she did with this deck. See, hands like this are really awkward. It says attack action cards you control. Oh, sure. If it was worded differently, then it would be a different conversation. Yeah, wholeheartedly. We can use Spark here to go get a protocol and try to make something happen. I'm probably just taking 4. I don't really want to block with the plating here. There's not really a reason to. We don't want to crowd anything because we know we have another blue on top of our deck, and that's not where we want to be. So we're just going to try and keep playing offense here. Hey Riddler, what's up, brother? How did your move go, man? I heard you I heard you talking the other day about your move and stuff like that. At least I think I did. I could be going crazy. So this basically blocks 2, which means if I block T-Bone, I'm still in a good spot. T-Bone blocks 4, and then this takes us down to 4, so I get to deny any further soul gain from here. And they use the Beacon of Victory. All right, so we're just blocking with everything and playing the blue T-Bone. I mean, there's nothing I can do about double Lumina. Like, it is what it is. We could block with Heart and block 5 like this. Now, the good news is that this means there's only 1 Lumina left in their deck, and it's still a pretty close game. This would allow me to put the Boom Grenade into play, crank, throw the dive through data, and then still Spark of Genius. So I think this is a better line for us here. Still working on getting the home in Florida ready to be sold. I mean, yeah, like that's one of the tough parts, man, is like after you move, you still got to do all the work for that kind of stuff. And I know it can be a lot sometimes. So is there any world we didn't put Teclo Pounders in, so it's all 0 cost items we're going to go search for. So we're going to go dive through data for 4 go again here. 1 Lumina and 1 Beacon. No more power cards in deck but V. I mean, yeah, there's 1 Lumina left in their deck and 1 Beacon of Victory. So I think we're in a pretty, I think we're in an okay spot. Wait, no, there's actually 0 Beacons left in their deck. So there's literally just the 1 Lumina and they have to draw it straight up. So we can, do I have a 0 coster over here? I do. So we can Spark for 0. We can go get, are the backup protocols gone already? Did I see both of them? Am I having a stroke? Backup protocol red. Where's the other backup protocol red? Am I having a stroke? Are they both in banished? Oh, they are. They're both right beside each other. I am having a stroke. Okay, never mind. So I guess we're gonna get Dissolving Shield. I don't really want to push out these red boom grenades out of the deck, so I think we'll go get a shield. We could just go get a Teklo Core, I guess, and set up for a bigger turn next turn, because we don't really have anything else we can do after this. So we're just going to play Teklo Core. We draw into a Spark of Genius. We're going to play Boom Grenade off the top. I could crank to play Spark of Genius, I guess, which would let us to go get another item, which is pretty cool. Let's just get a Dissolving Shield this way. We're not going to crank. And then we're going to Arsenal this red Boom Grenade here and set up for next turn. I think this is a pretty good line to play for us. We're down 3 points. We're in a decent spot. And we can try to push pressure here. I'm going to say no blocks here. We got it all. Yeah, we got something going for us, that's for sure. I don't know about all of it, but we got something going for us. It's probably just Raiden after this, and if it is, I'm just going to use the Dissolving Shield here. I'm going to move this up here to make my life easier so that I can just tick the Dissolving Shield 3 times. I think it's tough to see everything sometimes that way. Also, probably should just blocked with a plating this turn. Why would we keep it, Troll? I mean, I don't understand, like we're losing value every turn that thing sits on the board. So I don't know why we would keep it. I'm open to hearing suggestions, but I don't know why we would keep it. So let's play Teklo Core off the top. Let's play Boom Grenade. Yes, we will crank the Boom Grenade. We're going to go Zipper Hit for 4 go again. I think that was the right call. I mean, we're definitely getting maximum value out of using it right there. We're guaranteeing the most value by doing it that way. We're just banishing like all these good red cards. Really, you're running that all you got into me? I mean, I guess it just always blocks the gun. Is like the thought process there. My opponent's really going out of their way to try and stop the Boom Grenade. Which, I mean, letting Boom Grenade hit is the best way to lose to Dashio. He's going to Arsenal, turn, set up 5 cards. Being able to stop 2 breakpoints on potential hints is better than 3 random damage. So, do you still feel that way even though we took every card but 2 out of his hand? And the only reason he has 2 cards is because of... Is because of the value you got? Hey, Harrison, what's up, dude? I mean, yeah, so hindsight is 2020. I'm definitely not using that as like a legitimate arguing point here. I don't know, like I guess it just doesn't seem like 3 random damage. It seems like the 3 most efficient damage. Like, I definitely understand what you mean by random because like it is in some capacity random, but just battling this nasty COVID I got. At least I wasn't sick during Nats. Dude, I'm glad you weren't sick during Nats, but dude, that's tough. That's I was like, I hate that you got COVID, man. He's gonna try and fatigue us. Yeah, he's definitely gonna try and fatigue us, that's for sure. If this is Lumina, I mean, my opponent's going to try and fatigue us, but I don't know what else we're supposed to do here. Like, honestly, I don't really know what else we're supposed to do. Like, we're playing the hands we're given. We're just drawing a ton of blues. Like, every time we get Teklo Cores out, we draw, like, 2 blues in our hand or 3 blues in our hand. It just... I don't know why. Like, it always happens. Also, I mean, we've banished what? 1, 2, 3. We banished 12 cards, and 2 of them are blue. Feel like we're too short of that being a third, which is like statistically what we should be hitting here. Fatigue is really Warrior's only game plan. I mean, into Dio, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Bolton has card draw and soul building charge attacks on hit go again. So, I mean, the value from us like blocking the Illuminate would have been really good there. I definitely hear that. I assume our opponent has Illumina in their hand if they're like just not taking the damage. Or I'm sorry, if they're just taking the damage. Because this is quite a bit we're pushing here. Yeah, I really don't know what's in their hand, but it's kind of frightening that they're just so quick to take this. They're down to 11. And we draw a hand that I would call mediocre at best. A Vanguard hand. Am I okay giving up the resources here to... I wonder if this is their last Lumina. Am I okay giving up the resources from Techlocore to block with adaptive plating here? I feel like I should like probably take 6 and kind of wait and see what happens. Deck runs well. I just swear even with 19 blues, I feel like I get 3. Yeah, so it's weird because when I play Zen sometimes, I feel like I'm drawing no blues with 30 in the deck, 30 to 33 in the deck. And then when I play Dash with like 20 or 22 blues, I feel like I draw 3 blue hands quite consistently. And it's very frustrating at times. I really wish these could block. Like, I understand why they can't, but like these, like they do nothing together, and this hand sucks. I don't know if this is correct, but this is how we're gonna block. So this is 6 for go again here. I think I have to take 6 and go to 7 here. I think I have to. I wish I drew 3 blues consistently and knew. Yeah, see, like it's interesting because like the value of like how we weigh things is always so different depending on like the deck that we're playing. And I mean, like I get it. It's tough. It's tough sometimes because you run a lot of blues and you set it up in this like extremely specific way to set it all up, and things just don't go your way sometimes, and it can be frustrating. So we're looking at like one last turn here to try and end the game, I think. The fact that they have another V of the Vanguard is unfortunate. This is going to be for what? Four? I'm going to bottom the Boom Grenade in my hand and draw the Boom Grenade here. Which is like definitely not the most like efficient thing we can be doing, but Raiden for 4, so I'm pretty tempted to just say no blocks and use the shield. Actually, no. Am I supposed to... Hang on. We're supposed to use one of these. Take 4, go to 1. The Lumina puts our opponent to 12 here. And then... Oh, it's for 5 because of V, so I have to block with 2 cards. which means I should have used this last turn. Or I should have used this. Is there any way I can undo here? No, there's not. I forgot about the V. Man, I'm just making mistakes out the wazoo today. Yeah, so if I'd used that, I'd be at 2 right now. But in my head, it was going to be for 4, so I was going to give Spark and this and get to keep 3 cards here. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that. So we're going to High Octane, draw the Pulse Wave. I cannot play the Boom Grenade here, unfortunately. I wish I could, but I can't. We're forced to activate Heart to throw the soup up here. With us being at 1, we have to try and take every card. And then even then, we're just going to get fatigued. You're playing a weird-looking wizard right now. This would have been a much better turn for Stonewall Gauntlet. Yes. Yeah, that turn right there would have been a great Stonewall Gauntlet turn. Yeah, with V. So we're pretty much just in a world where I always want to save V for the Gauntlet turn, which makes a lot of sense. It's probably just the most correct way to be playing it. So yeah, is to just wait for the V of the Vanguard turn, which they inevitably probably always have. They give us 2 cards because they know they can, and then we're going to hit them for 6 with the gun here, and they're going to fall to 6. And they just have 7 here. I mean, yeah, so we do get to block with just 2 cards here. We get to block Soup Up, get rid of the Dissolving Shield, and then we get to block with the Harpoon. I mean, it doesn't matter which item we get rid of. They're both the same here. Yeah, let's crank, and then we will boost. So we have no cards left in our deck, but if this hits... No, I'm just kidding. Think Dashio is harder to play than Kano? If you were asking me that, I don't know. Honestly, like, I would say that... I mean, I guess it... I don't know. I guess it depends on, like, what variation of Kano. Like, Kano is tough, but, like, the basic combo version of Kano is, like, not that hard to put together, in my opinion. Like, once you play it a few games and understand it, you, like, understand what the basics of the combo are. It's like the pitch stacking version of Kano that's, like, impossible to play, in my opinion. We pass, and they E-strike for 7, and we block and die. Yep. And, I mean, I don't know, like... We just got fatigued across 9 turns trying to play our game. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Different skill set. I mean, that's fair. Different skill set makes sense. To be fair, I think Dio has like a 5 to 10% win percentage into warrior player who knows their role in the matchup. I believe that. Like, this is... Like 1 in 5 is like, so it's funny because like some of the only times that I have a losing record like actively on stream every time is when I'm playing these new heroes that I don't know that I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to piece together. Oh Lord, sorry I dropped my cards here, but Dio's interesting. Like, she's a hard deck. Like, obviously in my opinion Dio's hardest thing to overcome is fatigue. In the racing matchups, you're just well aware of what you want to be doing. We want to go first here. Oh, hey, it's Sam. What's up, Sam? Yeah, so Dio is bad, so the deck is hard. I mean, I don't think Dio's that bad. I mean, Mara went 7-1 at Nationals with Dio, man. Like, I don't think Dio's that bad for sure. I do think that like you are playing like a harder version of the game So we want Vambrace, we want Accelerators, we want Crown of Providence. I think this is a good Scramble Pulse matchup and a good Teklo Pounder matchup to try and set up an early Teklo Pounder. Again, I'm not a believer in the Boom Grenades here. I think we learned earlier the penetration script is actually insanely good. I think we can run it like this. The overpower seems very mediocre to me here, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know when we want the overpower and when we don't. It seemed very mediocre every time I've seen it. So, I don't know. Am I supposed to boost here? I really don't want this card. Like, I really don't want to draw this card. So I think I'm going to boost and see if maybe we can find an item off the top of the deck. We don't, but it would have been cool if we did. Theo has loops to help against fatigue. It's just not the meta for it. I mean, so there's not a lot of people playing fatigue right now, which makes sense. I don't know. I think that someone like me would definitely have more success in a... I think someone like me would have more success in a meta... and this hand's awkward. I mean, this hand's fine. Like with Dash IE as opposed to Dash IO. I think Dash IE has a lower skill ceiling. But Dash IE is also a very aggressive, very good deck who also struggles to play around fatigue sometime. Just speaking as a warrior main who has played the matchup a couple hundred times or so, once I quit trying to play the value game and just started blocking out, losing was rarer than a cold foil heart. I love that analogy there. But yeah, no, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Like, so as Victor, you know, like obviously, like as a Guardian player, your role in the match is to just try to not lose, right? Like that's your game plan, is to just try to not die. You're just blocking everything to try to not die. Why does every game start like this for me? Like, I'm forced to like fall down so low to start the game. It's very weird. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna block 6 here. I'm gonna protect the life total, not the board. I'm gonna throw Heist, then Soup Up, and Arsenal the Pulse Wave Harpoon. The fact that I've not been blocking very efficiently is also one of the bigger underlying issues of my value with this deck. When you get to a point to where you're able to like block efficiently and still find maximum output from your hands, that's when you start winning more games. So Guardians of Warriors just block you out and you can never Boom Grenade. I mean, I think ultimately that's the biggest problem with Dio, right? Is that you need to play a matchup where your Boom Grenades are getting value. And if not, they're just like toxicities and they're just really bad because everyone knows that toxicity is not a great card. So I think there's a lot of that in this deck. And I don't know, like the more... the more I play the deck, the more it feels awkward. So block Dive through Data, Crown of Providence, put Harpoon on the bottom, play the penetration script pitching the Zipper hit, and then see what we draw into. Actually, let's block here. I like Dive through Data. And we'll take 1. I think this is fine. Before we crown, I'm going to play the penetration script, though. And we are not going to crank. And then we'll put this on the bottom, draw into the Boom Grenade. I mean, it definitely has utility in a slower meta. I agree with that, Brad. It's just, I think it's all like deck building and like how you decide to build the deck and play the deck is ultimately where that comes out. So we're gonna come in for 5 go again. Man, like, you need to play that off the top on your own turn. I needed that to be where the yellow Boom Grenade was. I needed the Boom Grenade to be on top and the penetration script to be 1 card lower. Maybe I should have just drawn it. And I should have just been okay with trying to play it out of my hand next turn, which would have been good. Probably would have just been the correct play. Let's put Soup up on the bottom. We see an outpace. I think we're just going to throw the dive through data again. I want to push as much as I can here. Trying to push like damage is what we have to do against Enigma. Hey, what's up, Josh? How are you, buddy? Yeah, I'm playing more Dio today. Not very well, but I'm playing more Dio today, trying to get a feel for Dio in general. We're gonna play this off the top, pitching this, and then we're not gonna crank. And oh wait, I'm sorry. I can play this off the top, and then I can shoot the gun here. So we're not gonna crank, and then I'm gonna shoot the gun. We'll just push 2 more points of damage here. I mean, so I'm 1-5 right now, and it's very, very safe to say that there has been we've played at minimum 2 games where mistakes I have made have cost us the game, and we can actively point back to that situation. So that's where we're at right now. Like, yeah, these boom grenades just feel so ugly. Ugh. Yeah, like, this is a matchup where I don't like boom grenade at all. I wonder if Mari ever sides them out. That's a question I'd like to ask her, to be honest. This is 8. Well, we're taking 8. As the kids say, F it, we ball. And then another 8. We do not have a popper in this hand, unfortunately. Big Sag. So we're just going to take 8 and fall to 14. I love that the Enigmas have just like turned into this like deck that's just trying to push as much damage as possible against aggro decks. It's funny because it makes them worse into Victor, but it gives them a lot of play into like other aggro decks. We're going to pitch the boom grenade and we're going to boost. I'm going to do my best to get Teclo Pounder into play this turn. Okay, Fate Foreseen. So if I play the Zipper hit and then we activate Heart, we can put Teclo Pounder into play, which I think gives us a good chance. Yeah, Boom Grenade feels very bad in this matchup. They want the Chi. Okay, you're still only blocking 3. Okay, so you're going to play the hold the line there. Then we're going to activate Heart. Put Teclo Pounder into play and pass. And we did not clear the board, which means we essentially get one more turn of just trying to play like straight gun it offense here of trying to run them over. I am going to block 2, I guess. And I can give the Spark of Genius if I need to, but I need to be able to keep the other 3 cards to do what I want. Phantasmaclasm probably just ruins this plan here as a whole, because they're going to take our High Octane and put it on the bottom here. At least that's what I assume they're going to do. Beats the Levi stream with Mansant, my favorite so far. I mean, we did have a rough record playing Levi that night, but I think hanging out with Ethan was pretty cool. I think yeah, I was like you said, it was your favorite stream so far. Like it's hanging out with Ethan was really cool. He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy to hang out with and be around. All right, this is for all the marbles. We're going to try and push as much as we can. Without the High Octane, we're in a rough spot. We don't really have a way to draw cards or like push a ton of damage. So this is 7 into 4. We have a Vambrace activation and we can shoot the gun twice if we need to. But they're at 27, so yeah. So I'm a better Levi player than aggro. I would definitely say that, Josh. I would definitely say that, man. I mean, so I do actually play quite a bit of things besides Guardian. I just don't play a lot of things besides Guardian in a competitive setting, and I think that's where like a lot of that gets lost over time. I am definitely like definitely a like, you know, tried and true like Guardian player when it comes to like competitive events. I think Guardian offers a lot of consistency that I really like. It's not always something that I've seen a lot of playing guard games, so the consistency that you get from playing like decks like Guardian and things like that, I really enjoy. So I think that's where most of my love comes from. So the fact that this is for 5 makes this incredibly weird. We're gonna block 4, take 1. Like, without poppers in the deck, I feel like these like new builds that are playing Spears of Serality and like all these other cards are just so bad for us. We are just in such a bad spot with all of these cards, with the way the deck is set up. Bro, what? Did Sam just pummel us? Okay. Okay. Wow. Just got pummeled? Oh my god, Sam, that was awesome. Sam, if you're here, brother, I cannot believe we just got pummeled. That's amazing. That's hilarious. It's Fang's list. Okay, is that like is that a thing that he was playing? I saw him say something on Twitter about how awkward, or like how he played a pummel list or something like that. Enigma pummel is pretty cool. That was pretty sweet. I have to admit that was pretty fun. That's all thanks to Michael Fang. I mean, listen, man, Michael Fang's a good player. I think he top 8 the Battle Hardened playing pummel Enigma, which is interesting. It's funny. I'm curious to see how the Enigma deck changes over the like coming weeks and stuff like that, just because there's a lot of I don't know. Like I just like, if things that play a lot of poppers start to get into the metagame, like those Spears of Serality cards and stuff like that, will have to like make their way out of the deck, I think. So he is running 2 red pummel, and I've been inspired. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, man. You could really talk me into playing pummels in Enigma. That was sweet. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. That was cool. I appreciate the game, man. Guys, I think I know I talked about playing Fortnite afterwards. I don't know. Like I think I'm gonna call it a day on the stream. My head hurts a little bit. I don't know. I'm not feeling super great, so I probably going 1-6 has played into that in some variation, I'm sure. But Dash.io is really cool, and ultimately, I think that, you know, Mara knows what she's doing. 7-1 in nationals is, you know, no small feat in CC. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's like the deck is interesting, and I think if I was truly going to learn Dio, it would take a lot more games than, you know, the 12 to 13 we played in the last 48 hours. Need to really sit down and, like, you know, practice the list a bit, and, like, you know, like really try to like hone in on some of the cards. Kind of makes me want to play Dash IE though. I love Dash IE. I love it. Dio wiped my brain, dude. Yeah, that's yeah. Dio wiped my brain for sure. That's definitely something it did today. Oh man, good luck cooling down, Brims. I appreciate it, man. I think the air finally kicked on. Things feel like they're cooling down a little bit. I'm definitely gonna check my vent after this. Guys, thanks for hanging out today. I know I don't normally stream on Sundays, but I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out. We're gonna have a lot of streams this week. We're streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday this week. I think is what we're looking at right now. Tomorrow we're gonna have some in-paper games. I think Silas is gonna come over and we're gonna have some games tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're playing. I might put Dash IE together tomorrow to play. I really like that hero in that deck, so I might put that together. Might look at playing that. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.